You are listening to New Europe Institute Free Seas 14 Talks podcast.
Dzień dobry, nazywam się Agnieszka Rogozińska, jestem analitykiem Instytutu Nowej Europy. Dzisiaj naszym gościem jest pan Yasen Georgiev. Pan Yasen Georgiev jest dyrektorem wykonawczym Instytutu Polityki Gospodarczej, zespołu doradców z siedzibą w Sofii, który ma ponad 25-letnie doświadczenie w badaniu, analizowaniu i wyjaśnianiu trendów gospodarczych i wielowymiarowych w Bułgarii i Europie Południowo-Wschodniej. W swojej pracy badawczej koncentruje się na styku gospodarki, polityki publicznej i stosunków międzynarodowych. Yasen Georgiev często współpracuje z lokalnymi i zagranicznymi mediami, ostatnio z Bułgarskim Radiem Narodowym, Bułgarską Telewizją Narodową, Bloomberg TV w Bułgarii, TV Europa, Emerging Europe w Wielkiej Brytanii, Visegrad Insight w Polsce oraz z mediami w Czechach, na Litwie i na Łotwie. So, Yasen Georgiev is Executive Director of the Economic Policy Institute, a Sofia-based think tank with 25 years of track record in researching, analyzing and explaining economic and multidimensional trends in Bulgaria and Southeastern Europe. In his research work, he focuses on the intersection between economy, public policy, and international relations. Yasen Georgiev contributes frequently to local and foreign media outlets, most recently to the Bulgarian National Radio, Bulgarian National Television, Bloomberg TV in Bulgaria, TV Europa in Bulgaria, Emerging Europe, UK, Visegrad Insight Poland, and the others media. Dear Yasen, thank you for accepting the invitation to today's conversation about the Free Seas Initiative. And my first questions to you is the Free Seas Initiative an important platform of regional cooperation for Bulgaria?
Thank you very much, Agnieszka, and it's really very kind of you to introduce me in such a comprehensive way. I'm really pleased to speak to you and to reach a broader audience in Poland and beyond. Firstly, let me start by saying that the Three Seas Initiative is one of the international platforms that has been perceived very positively by Bulgaria in general. Although I have to say that in the last 2 years, we had 5 rounds of consecutive parliamentary elections. So from that perspective, the Three Seas Initiative has been not so widely communicated in the country. Of course, it is an initiative that is generally driven forward by presidents of our countries, but still this political situation in the country did not help to focus or to channel more attention on it. However, if you look at all the political statements on different levels, on the presidential level, but also on government level, you can see that Bulgaria attributed a very high level of importance to the Three Seas Initiative. And literally speaking, it is one of these regional platforms that bears a huge potential for Bulgaria and for the region. And this has been recognized by all political actors in the country.
And thank you. And please tell me, are Bulgarian foreign policy priorities directly related to engagement in the Free Seas Initiative?
Recently, Bulgaria has been focusing its foreign policy mainly in, let's say, 3 main directions. Firstly, it is the Schengen accession of Bulgaria. Secondly, it is the euro area accession because Bulgaria plans to adopt the single currency on the 1st of January 2025. And the third main priority is accession to the OECD, to the Organization for Economic Development and Cooperation. However, all these formats for regional cooperation are quite important for the Bulgarian foreign policy, and you can see that that they are high on the agenda when it comes to regional cooperation. So, to put it in a nutshell, although it is not quite high on the agenda, on the formal agenda, I should say that such form of cooperation is one of the main pillars when it comes to cooperation in this part of Europe, to cooperation for cooperation with other like-minded countries in the European Union. Yes, I think this is one of the main priorities that are not so widely recognized by society, but still, I mean, the expert society and the expert group of people realize that this initiative is widely recognized as one of the important tools for making regional cooperation deliver.
Mm-hmm. Does Bulgaria focus on some particular fields of free seas initiative cooperation?
In fact, during the Bulgarian presidency of the initiative back in 2021, the presidency at that time, the Bulgarian presidency, decided to attract attention to some more fields that could be of potential cooperation. And this is why the presidency proved that cooperation in the field of research and science is also a very important addition to the 3Cs initiative. Of course, it is very, how to say, it's much easier to be said than to be done. But the fact that the Bulgarian presidency of the initiative decided to broaden the scope is a testimony that for Bulgaria, it should be regarded as an initiative that goes much beyond transport, energy, and digital connectivity. Of course, if you look at the projects that Bulgaria has submitted or the projects for which Bulgaria advocates, it is clear that the main priority is in the field of transport and energy connectivity. But it comes to show that these are fields in which Bulgaria needs further collaboration with its neighbors. And this comes to show that energy and transport are quite important. But at the same time, I should say that digital cooperation is also quite high on the agenda of the Bulgarian government.
And in your opinion, is the Free Seas initiative well known within the Bulgarian society?
As already mentioned, in the last 2 years, we were preoccupied with the political situation domestically. And for that reason, formats like the 3Cs initiative, I think, are not so well recognized by the wider Bulgarian society. So from that perspective, I think it has a huge catching up potential in terms of communication, because it remains a very niche initiative that speaks to people in academia, in the research sector, in some businesses related to energy, to transport connectivity, but it is still not as widely recognized as it deserves to be.
And what are the most important projects implemented by the Bulgaria in terms of the Free Seas initiative?
the project that Bulgaria has already submitted to the 3Cs investment fund are still not implemented. But at the same time, it was in the summer of last year when the investment fund acquired a major share in the operator of the Black Sea port of Burgas, which was the very first acquisition of shares in a port infrastructure on behalf of the investment fund. And it is quite important, not only because this was the very first time when the investment fund gets involved into a port infrastructure, but also because of the fact that the Burgas port is the closest port to Bosphorus, which is part of the country that is part of the 3Cs initiative, which comes to show that maritime connectivity is also quite important for this 3Cs initiative. And we see that although the other projects that are quite important when it comes to gas storage, to transport connectivity, there are some long-term projects that could not be implemented so easily. But at the same time, the acquisition of shares in the port of Burgas is something that happened quite easily. And it comes to show that this port is quite important for the regional connectivity, or at least has a potential to be important for the 3Cs initiative in the years to come.
And which countries of the 3Cs initiative are the most important partners in terms of regional cooperation, which are involved in current Bulgarian projects?
So when it comes to importance, from geographical point of view, it makes sense that the most important countries for Bulgaria, these are the neighboring countries. And out of the neighboring countries, I can point out at Romania, because some of the projects that are already on the table or that have the potential to be on the table are also linked to connectivity with Romania as our northern neighbor country, with which we share membership in NATO and in the European Union. But at the same time, I would like also to draw your attention on the fact that during the Bulgarian presidency of the 3Cs initiative, here in Sofia, there was a discussion about extending the initiative to Greece. And at the high-level meeting that took part in Sofia, there was a high-level representation also on behalf of Greece. I think it was the Greek president who attended the forum. So from this point of view, it is quite important for Bulgaria, and it has been already publicly announced that for Bulgaria, it makes sense if this initiative also involves Greece. From that perspective, Bulgaria will be well connected also within the initiative to its southern neighbor. And it makes sense because Greece is part of the EU, Greece is part of NATO. And if Greece is member of the 3Cs initiative, it will serve as a tool for somehow complementing the 3Cs initiative with a linkage to the Mediterranean, which is quite important when it comes to the general connectivity in Central and Southeastern Europe. So formally, it is Romania, but when it comes to the best case scenario, it should be also Greece, which from the point of view of Sofia is regarded as a quite important future formal member of the 3Cs initiative.
Is the regional cooperation within the 3Cs initiative format strengthening Polish-Bulgarian bilateral relations?
In fact, because of the 3Cs initiative, we have witnessing a hike in dialogues, in cooperation formats between our both countries. And now it is one of the tools to intensify cooperation. I could recall several years ago, before the Three Seas initiative was born, there were some ideas to implement the Via Carpathia connectivity project. And at that time, it was very actively promoted by the Polish government. And as a result, from this initiative, there were several high-level events in Bulgaria. So I think that nowadays, having the Three Seas initiative is something that could further intensify the cooperation. And from the point of view of the research community in Bulgaria, it is obvious that Poland is quite active in this initiative, and we see many events and many formats that are happening under the auspices either of the Polish government or Polish think tanks. So it seems that it is quite logical, in fact, that within the framework of the Three Seas initiative, our bilateral relations could gain a further momentum.
And which political forces in Bulgaria are supporting and which are opposing the deepening of cooperation in the Three Seas initiative?
It's a very good question. And if we have to go into this issue of political parties, I should say that up to now, there has been no clear cut or clear division between parties that are in favor or against the Three Seas initiative. However, I do believe that parties that are very much in favor of our membership in NATO and in the European Union are supportive for the initiative, while some opposition parties that are questioning the added value of the European Union and that are against our NATO membership are the logical, how to say, the logical opposition to the Three Seas initiative. And most probably, when the initiative gains more popularity in Bulgaria, it will also become an issue when it comes to this domestic political debate. But as already mentioned, up to now, there has been no discussion whether a given party is in favor or against the initiative. However, I think it is something that will emerge in the years to come, as long as the initiative gains momentum.
Is Bulgaria engaged in other regional platforms of cooperation which shall be perceived as competitive the Three Seas initiative?
In fact, Bulgaria is involved in all the other regional cooperation platforms. But I think when it comes to the question which of them is a real competitor to the Three Seas initiative, we should highlight maybe the China Sea cooperation platform, the previous 70+1 platform. In fact, all the other regional cooperation platforms either do not have the aspiration or do not have the capacity to compete with the Three Seas initiative. For instance, Bulgaria is active member of the Central European Initiative, but the Central European Initiative is not that comprehensive and is not supporting such projects of high magnitude, of high importance, that are very costly, like energy, like transport or digital connectivity. Bulgaria is member of the Black Sea Economic Cooperation, which is literally blocked because of Russia's war in Ukraine. So at the end of the day, we have the Three Seas initiative and the cooperation within this China CE cooperation mechanism. But I have to say that the common mood that we see is that unlike other countries in Central Europe, Bulgaria is not very active in this cooperation platform with China. So far, we don't have any investment from China that is in the field of infrastructure, be it energy or transport or digital infrastructure. So I think although the cooperation with China is quite important as well, or at least politically speaking, when it comes to practical implementation, Bulgaria is much more advanced in cooperating within the 3Cs initiative. So from that perspective, it has no clear competition so far, although the cooperation platform with China bears a huge potential for this, which, however, as already mentioned, has not been used so far.
Does Bulgaria perceive Poland as the leader of the 3Cs initiative? And what would be your recommendation for the further development of the 3Cs initiative?
In fact, the research community, I think, is quite convinced that the main driver behind the 3Cs initiative in Europe is Warsaw, and it's evident to all of us. However, I should say that Romania was quite strong this year because of the presidency, because of the Bucharest summit, which is totally logical when a country holds the presidency. But other than that, I mean, other than the current year of Romanian presidency, I think it's obvious to all of us who are doing research in the field that the main activity, the main how to say driver in this issue is Poland, and I think everyone in the research community will agree with this. Excuse me. When it comes to recommendations, I think as we discussed in the beginning of our conversation, the 3Cs initiative lacks general understanding, at least in Bulgaria. So this is something that would be improved by showcasing the importance of regional connectivity, by speaking about the lack of this north-south connectivity in Europe. So I think we should be more active in communicating about this potential added value of bringing our countries closer to each other. And of course, the other recommendation that I could come up with is the fact that we need practical projects that would be supported by the investment fund, because when we talk the talk, we also need to walk the walk, and people and stakeholders from different spheres should be able to see how is the 3Cs initiative happening in practice. So from that perspective, I should say that aside of the big projects that are on the table, this first investment in the port infrastructure is something that is quite understandable, and now we have to see what does it mean in practice. I mean, further expansion or renovation of the port in Burgas. So I think we need some evidences that this cooperation platform delivers results, and when we have these results, it will be easier to communicate with the wider audience.
Yasen, thank you once again for accepting the invitation. Thank you for all the answers, and thank you for the very, very interesting conversation.
Agnieszka, I would like to thank you also for having me. we at the Economic Policy Institute have been dealing with this topic for several years now, and I personally have been authoring several research pieces on that issue, and I'm really happy that this initiative gains momentum step by step, and I think it bears huge potential for our countries and for Bulgaria in particular, because regional connectivity is something that is still lagging behind, and we should make a good use of this opportunity to bring our countries, our societies, and our economies closer to each other.
Yes, of course, you have a right. And so, see you next time.
Thank you once again. Let's keep in touch.
See you.